What's up, guys? Stacy here from Becoming Financially Fit, and today we're going to talk about the economics of owning an ATM business and how you can generate passive income from owning an ATM. Let's get into it. So what do I mean when I say owning an ATM business? So that means that when you actually go out to a bank, they have an ATM. So it doesn't take any type of customer service. You go, you put in your card, you type in your PIN number, and you get your cash. So banks, a lot of the majority of banks own the majority of ATMs in the country, but you've probably seen if you go into a gas station, a grocery store, or a bar, or something like that, there are ATMs that are set up sometimes in the corner in the back that if you go, you put your card in, they charge you a fee, sometimes $3, sometimes $5, depending on depending on where you are. They're going to charge you a fee to get your own money from that particular ATM. And people are so used to using those ATMs that $3 really doesn't matter to them. And most of the time, if they have a decent bank that they're banking with, they're going to get those fees reimbursed because it really doesn't matter that you're using that particular ATM, because your bank will reimburse, let's say, up to $10 or $12 for those ATM fees. So now, how do you make that ATM work for you? So today I'm going to explain how exactly you can actually start up an ATM business and get that business working for you in as little as, let's say, 30 to 90 days. The main question about this ATM business topic is how much does it actually cost to get an ATM and get it up and running so you can start making some passive income. And I've done my research, so I'm going to give you guys the actual numbers of what it takes to get this business started. And so in order to get this business started, before you even get into prices, you're going to actually need to find a certain location. And the location, like I said, could be a bar, it could be a restaurant, it could be a grocery store, a deli, anything like that that you can actually go in, you can talk to the business owner, and you can actually negotiate the split, because that's going to be the most important thing. You want to go out and you want to find something that has high foot traffic, a lot of people going in and out, preferably something that's cash only, where you could go in, you can negotiate and saying, hey, I have an ATM, I know you guys didn't have one, or maybe if you do have one, here's how I can add value. And so what this takes is you're going to have to negotiate. So you're going to have to go to them and say, for every processing fee that I receive, every $3 that I receive, I will give you, let's say, 25% or even 50%. And depending on how you actually do this negotiation, it's going to come down to, you're going to have to pay them to actually be in that location. And they know this, so you're going to have to offer them something. Even if you're offering them, let's say, the majority, 60 to 75%, you're still going to be making passive income. Preferably, if you're offering something like that, 60 to 75%, it's a high traffic, cash only location. But if it's something that doesn't have a lot of traffic, foot traffic, and it's not cash only, so they do have the option to pay card at that establishment, then you're going to be offering something anywhere between, let's say, 25 or 15% up to 50%. And during these negotiations, what you're trying to do is find out their needs. So once you get to that point, and let's say we're going to set it at 50-50. So for every transaction that you do, you're going to get 50% and they're going to get 50% of that transaction at the end of the month. Once you have that agreement set in stone, you can't just do a handshake. You actually have to go through a lawyer. So now we're talking about some of the costs. You have to go through a lawyer to get that set up. And that's going to be anywhere between $250 to around $500, depending on your location, to get a contract drawn up between yourself, preferably an entity that you have, an LLC, and that company that you're actually going to be putting your ATM business inside of. And so far, you've probably come out of pocket, and like I said, anywhere between $250 to $500 to not only get your LLC set up, but also to actually get that contract drawn up and get that signed, that agreement signed, so you can actually have a location to set up your ATM business. So now, next step, what do you do after you have your contract signed, you have your LLC set up? The next thing to do would be to open a business banking account. And in order to do this, like I said, you have to go step by step. You have to have an LLC established. And so what you do is you go into the bank, you show your articles of incorporation, you show that you're an actual business doing actual business in that particular location, and they set up a bank for you. And you're gonna have to explain what you're gonna be doing. And some banks don't like the ATM business because that's actually one of their businesses, but others will say, okay, we'll bank with you and we'll help you out and establish this business banking account. So step one would be finding a location. Step two would be getting an LLC started. Step three would be actually getting a contract and getting that contract signed by you and the party. And step 4 would be going out and getting a business bank account established. Now, once you have all of this stuff established, the only thing else that you need is an ATM. And there are a lot of different services that offer ATMs, but make sure you don't get something that's used. I would highly recommend getting something that's brand new. You get it exclusively from the manufacturer. They come in, they install everything, and you get your Wi-Fi service up and running, and that's going to run you anywhere from between $2,000 to $3,000. So it's actually not that much. So when you're thinking about on average, it probably takes you about $2,500 to get everything from start to finish set up. And so now this is day 0 of having your ATM. And so now what does it take to start actually getting your first customer? Now that you have your ATM business set up, you have your ATM set up, it's in the store, it's up and running, it's been installed, everything's good to go. What else do you need to actually start this business? So you're going to need to put in, depending on the location, anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 inside the ATM. If you're just starting out and you kind of want to build up your money, I would recommend putting in somewhere around $2,000 to $3,000, and that only means that you're going to have to refill that ATM more times than you normally would if you put in more money. And the best part about owning an ATM business is the fact that you never lose the money that you initially put in. What happens is every night, let's say $100 was taken out of your ATM and it charged them fees of, let's say, $12. At the end of the night, $112 is put into your business bank account. And now what you can do is, if you ever need to refill your ATM, you go to your bank account, you take out $100 and you put it back in your ATM, but you leave the money that you gain, that $12 in fees that you gain from people using that ATM, you get to keep that. So you're never really actually losing the money that you initially put into the ATM. It just keeps getting recycled. At the end of the day, whatever was taken out of it is then sent back by the processing company and put into your business bank account. You take that money out. Once it gets to, let's say, $1,000, you go put it back into your ATM, and you just keep that process going, keep generating the fees, and over time you start to see how this is a income generating business, a passive income generating business that can be to your benefit. So now you're sitting at an initial investment of around $5,000 to go out, do everything, get your LLC, get your contracts, get your ATM, set up a business bank account, get it up and running, put cash in it. So like I said, around $5,000, and you can be set up in a location, whatever your hometown is or outside of your hometown, in a matter of, like I said, 30 to 90 days, depending on how fast you can actually find a location. And guys, I know you might have a lot of questions about how processing work, how getting your money in there and getting it out works. And if you guys have any questions on this topic, feel free to drop a comment below, and I can try to explain everything about this. I'm actually in the process of starting up my own ATM business to generate passive income, and I want to start to do this within the next couple months. So what I'm doing is I'm in the step 1, looking for locations where I can go out and I can see there's heavy foot traffic. They might have cash only, and I can actually go in and add value by reaching out to that business owner and putting an ATM into their establishment. So like I said, if you guys have any questions on this topic, drop a comment below. If you like the content I'm putting out, make sure you give this video a like. And if you have any other questions about personal finance, financial literacy, savings, investing, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell to stay updated anytime I post new content.